Phil Godlewski, a popular QAnoner, managed to expose himself as a groomer in an effort to defame a local paper that was defaming him. I'm Yasmin Khan with the breakdown, and Godlewski is a public QAnon figure with significant followings on Telegram and Rumble. Now, I don't need to tell you the details of what QAnoners believe, but suffice it to say that a lot of their ideology comes down to the idea that the world, by way of the American Democratic Party, is being run by a cabal of QAnon supporters justify their support of the controversial movement with the belief that they're working to protect children from predators. They're also wary of groomers, or people who take advantage of the naivete of young people in an effort to mold them into the type of person they'd like them to become, or to normalize certain illicit behaviors in the young person's mind. Groomers prime their victims to more readily accept future abuses. Grooming is a real thing, but this term is now regularly and unfairly applied as a derogatory term against members of the LGBTQ community, implying that members of the community are actively trying to recruit young people to participate in their way of life. These ideas and this sort of language have led to violence against members of the LGBTQ community, as well as the demonization of things like drag brunches and drag story hours. Recently, there has been a spate of incidences across the country where armed protesters have attempted to shut down drag events only to be met with more numerous counter-protesters. On top of that, for all of their talk of groomers within the LGBTQ community, the QAnon community is generally quiet about cases involving the actual grooming of minors, specifically cases involving members of the Republican Party or anyone involved with the church. But as far as minors are concerned, Godlewski allegedly has some personal experience. Back in 2008, when Godlewski was 25 years old, he was working at a high school outside of Scranton, Pennsylvania. While working there, he engaged with a 15-year-old student and their relationship turned sexual. Text messages from the time were particularly incriminating, with Godlewski making several explicit references to the sexual nature of their relationship and to the fact that she was only 15 years old and that he was 25 years old. This contradicts the claim by Godlewski's lawyer that the girl was of age before the relationship turned sexual. 2 years later, in 2010, Godlewski was indicted on charges related to sex with a minor. Ultimately, Godlewski pleaded guilty to one count of corruption with a minor, which is basically grooming, and he served 3 months under house arrest as a result. Cut to 2021, and the Scranton Times-Tribune does a story on Godlewski, now a QAnon star, in which they mention his past conviction. Godlewski decided to sue the paper for defamation, but in so doing, he claimed not to have any records of communication between himself and the woman involved. Enter the woman. She offered a sworn affidavit that contradicted Godlewski's claim, providing recent messages between the two of them in which their sexual relationship was again repeatedly referenced. So he already perjured himself, but it gets worse. It was also revealed in the text messages that Godlewski tried to convince the woman to perjure herself and that there might be a financial windfall if she did. He said, quote, "I think it might be fair to say that there is a very, very large and very, very unique financial opportunity that exists in front of you." The case is ongoing, and Godlewski has managed to crowdsource over $26,000 for his legal defense from his loyal QAnon followers who allegedly don't like groomers. The paper is seeking $70,000 in legal fees from damages from Godlewski. All right, and that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok.